You know, people say that you should use the camera on the back of your phone as opposed to the front of the phone when you record stuff. But do they also say you should attach two microphones to your hat so that people can hear what you're saying? Because they should. Hope this isn't too loud, because I'm loud and this is right next to my mouth. Hey everyone, welcome to another What Am I Playing? Let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm playing is I'm still playing Lords of the Fallen. Strangely enough, I now have 3 games of this going at once. I've got the PlayStation 5 version that I am playing cooperatively with my friends. I have one on PC and on the Steam Deck that I'm playing that is a Radiance build that is mostly solo, but I'm also still playing with my friends. And I recently started an Umbral build, also on PC and Steam Deck. That's mostly going to be solo. So I don't really know what else I could add that I haven't already said about Lords of the Fallen. I'm really, really loving it. I think one of the things that I really like about it is that it is kind of, it is the style of Souls-like that From Software doesn't seem to be interested in doing anymore. It very much plays like Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2. It doesn't play like anything that came after. It doesn't play like Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3 or anything like that. It's just very much a Dark Souls 1 / Dark Souls 2 experience. And I am here for it. I really, really love those 2 games. It's a bit of a controversial hot take, but I actually really like Dark Souls 2. I like it more than Dark Souls 3. I like Dark Souls 1 the best, though. That is my favorite. But yeah, Lords of the Fallen feels like a game that is made for people who really, really love those first 2 Souls-likes. Kind of excluding Demon Souls from this, because that had a completely different vibe altogether. But no, I'm loving it. It is so much fun, which is why I started another one. I do have one slight complaint, one fresh complaint, I should say. So I've been playing it quite a bit on my Steam Deck, and it plays pretty well on the Steam Deck. I mean, it's going to have some graphical issues, undoubtedly, because it has some performance issues on the PlayStation 5, and so naturally it's also going to have some performance issues on the Steam Deck. But the one thing that I've realized recently is that for whatever reason, I can't use an external controller and play the game on my Steam Deck. So I've got this Steam Deck dock in my office with a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor. And I will occasionally, throughout my workday, kind of spin over and play something while I'm waiting for a build to finish, or I'm, waiting for CI to do something, or waiting on something. And I, very recently decided I want to try Lords of the Fallen this way, and it just wouldn't work. It would not work properly with my external controller. And Googling, I didn't find anybody else that seemed to have this problem. I realize it's a very niche problem to have. Not a lot of people who have Steam Decks ever intend to play them in a docked way with an external controller. But I certainly did, and it just doesn't work. It will not accept the inputs properly from the controller, and I spent a lot of time tweaking it and trying to make it work, and I could not make it work. So it's a fresh new complaint, but it's a minor complaint because, again, it's such an obscure play style that I don't think there's a lot of people who are encountering this issue. But no, I'm enjoying Lords of the Fallen. I have a feeling that at least on 2 of my games, we're really close to the end. That's the PlayStation 5 one that I'm playing with my friends, and my original Steam game. They're both in roughly the same spot. They're both in Bramus Castle, and they're both very, very close to the end. So I think when I'm done with those two versions, even if I'm still playing my third build, I probably won't mention it on this list anymore because, it won't be the primary focus anymore. But yeah, for now, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. Probably really close to the end. Lords of the Fallen, it's a great game. All right, so the next game, actually the next two games, I'm actually playing them on my Polymega. I don't know when the videos are going to go up, but I at some point I got my Polymega finally in the mail, and I don't know if it came before, if the mail sack video was something that came out before this video will go up or not. I don't remember, but I got my Polymega, and I've been going through and finding stuff to play. I really wanted to play Panzer Dragoon Saga and maybe Magical Knight Rayearth, but I fired them up and I just wasn't in the mood. I think I even captured some footage of both of them, but I was not feeling it. So I found other things to play, and one of the first things that I found that I really got into was Sled Storm. This is a PlayStation 1 game, and I am playing it on the Polymega. So Sled Storm is kind of it's an incredible piece of late 90s, early 2000s video game goodness. So yeah, it's a game that's by Electronic Arts. It's a racing game. It is a game where you race on snowmobiles, and it's got a really rocking soundtrack. It's got Rob Zombie's Dragula's like one of the, I think it's actually like the title song. I think it's the song that plays during the title sequence. And I do remember back in the day playing this. I mean, I wasn't a kid. I was very much an adult by the time this came out. But I do remember back in the day playing this, and my wife at the time, she's now my ex-wife, we're still good friends, but she would get upset if I would beat a race too quickly, because it meant that the music got truncated. So she would be like, no, keep it, let it go in the replay, I want to hear the song again. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It really is great. It's that early 2000s, late 90s goodness when all the video game companies were trying to get partnerships with Hollywood and partnerships with the music industry so that they could have officially licensed stuff like this in their games. And it's the sort of thing where these days it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of very commonplace, but back then it was very novel and very new, and I just have a lot of fond memories playing this in the past. But it's still incredibly fun to play today. Like, this is an incredibly fun racing game. It's great. And if you have a PlayStation, or if you have a Polymega, or if you just want to play it on emulation, you can do that. Sled Storm is a great game. I recommend it very highly. It is a hell of a lot of fun. All right, so what's the next one? Well, the next one is also something I'm playing on the Polymega, and that is Magical Popful Mail Fantasy Adventure on the Sega CD. This is a game by Working Designs. Well, they were the ones who translated it. Working Designs, I'll get into it. So this is a side-scrolling action RPG. It's got a lot of platforming elements. I wouldn't say that this is Metroidvania necessarily, but it definitely has kind of a Metroidvania feel. It kind of has an overworld that you can go and explore, but then it has individual levels that you go in and find things in the level and find, quest items and bosses and NPCs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mentioned that it was translated by Working Designs. A lot of people today might not remember this, so they might not have been alive or been maybe they were too young to realize that this was a thing. But it used to be that Western translations of Japanese titles tended to be pretty bad. You've got, the famous things like "All Your Base Are Belong to Us" from Zero Wing, and other similar really badly translated things. And so in the 90s, Working Designs was this new studio that specialized in taking Japanese titles that otherwise wouldn't be coming out into the States and lovingly localizing them into English. They did the Lunar games, they did Magical Knight Rayearth, and they did Popful Mail for the Sega CD. And the end result is that you wind up having a game that has a very high quality translation to it. And certainly that's the case with Popful Mail. The thing is about Popful Mail is that I honestly don't remember beating this game. I know that I played it back in the day, but I have no memory of actually beating it. So I'm wondering if this is something that I never actually finished, or if the game was just, not particularly memorable and I don't remember it. But so far I'm having a lot of fun. It's a blast. Like I said, I don't remember beating it, so I don't remember how long it is. It might be something that it might be a one and done kind of a thing. I might mention it this week and then not again next week because I'll have finished it. But I'm enjoying it. Popful Mail for the Sega CD. Good stuff.
200 gold? Yeah. I guess you don't want to be rescued too badly. I might consider it for, say, 700 gold or so.
700 gold? Man, I don't have that much.
All right, so the last game is a digital game. It's on Steam, although I am also playing it on my Steam Deck, but there's a real big asterisk next to it. I mentioned it last week. It is Heretic's Fork. Heretic's Fork is this great little roguelike card battler, tower defense, vampire survivors-esque thing. And it's wild and it's crazy and I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. I mentioned that I'm also playing it on my Steam Deck and that there's a big asterisk. And the reason that there's a big asterisk is because the game does require a mouse to play, which means you have to either use the touchpads on the Steam Deck or the touch screen. So I'm actually only playing it docked at the moment. In fact, when I was frustrated that Lords of the Fallen wouldn't work with my controller, I just fired up Heretic's Fork and just was playing that. And truth be told, Heretic's Fork is a great game to play in my office because it's a game that it's an auto battler. You set up your play, you set up your cards, and then you just let it run. And so it's actually really good to let it, if you have something else that you're doing and you have it like playing in the background. So it actually is very conducive to playing in the office, which, maybe I shouldn't be admitting that or advocating for that, but it is a great game to play when you're not really playing a game, if that makes any sense whatever. But it's a lot of fun, and I really am enjoying it. I really do recommend it highly. It's just great. Whatever the current price is, I don't know what it is, but it's totally worth it. Go check it out. Heretic's Fork. It's freaking awesome. So like I said, I got my Polymega and I've been playing games on it. And the only module that has come is the Ultra module, which allows me to play N64 games, which I will admit that's really cool. I really love to be able to play some of these games without hooking up my N64 to a RetroTink. I feel like the cartridge slot is a little tight. I really feel like getting the cartridges in is not the problem. It's like yanking them out. I feel like I'm going to break this stupid thing. But I do have one complaint, and that one complaint is that so far, The games that aren't working on the Polymega are near universally the modern ones that I have. So these are both limited run games, re-releases of classic N64 titles. Neither of these work. It doesn't even recognize them. It doesn't recognize them as N64 games or anything. And that's kind of a bummer because I really wanted to play Glover. This one, this was a good game. I wanted to play it, but the one I was really wanting to play was Glover. And so, I don't know, hopefully they'll patch it because, it's all software emulation. It's something they can patch, but, I don't know, there's a part of me that's just a little bit worried that they are, struggling financially over there. That maybe they might not issue a patch to fix stuff like this. Anyway, that's it. I got nothing else. See ya.